Hello and welcome to our bi-weekly DevSync for Subspace. I actually think it's been 3 weeks since our last sync, but we've had a lot going on. Kind of give some overview of things that's happened over the last few weeks. Biggest one, I know was very exciting for everybody on the call, probably for many of you that are watching, was Gemini 3F turned incentivized last Wednesday. So we are now officially running in an incentivized testnet. Uh, this should be the last incentivized testnet before we launch our mainnet beta. I should clarify that it may not be Gemini 3F is the last network before mainnet beta, but we will be running an incentivized testnet up until we launch mainnet. So very exciting times ahead. Give a little preview. This isn't quite official yet, but I know it's been mentioned in a couple of public channels that we are running an EVM domain. So you can, as of now, if you can get some test tokens on that domain, you can go and launch, smart contracts and start building just like any other EVM. I've been playing around with this over the last week. We're currently testing, so it's not quite production ready. We're working on some peripheral tooling. It includes getting an EVM-focused block explorer, getting a faucet up and running. There's some probability we'll actually launch a new domain as the as what are we calling it? Subspace Nova. So that will be the EVM official EVM domain of Subspace, or the one that we're kind of running. Um, that should happen, I would guess, sometime in the next couple of weeks once we get testing kind of thoroughly done. So more exciting news, I think, coming out of the team. And finally, we're going to be, for better or worse, publishing some sort of detailed timeline to mainnet at some point here in the next few weeks. I'm diligently working with all of the team to try and come up with something there. Obviously, the further out in a software project your timeline goes, the higher probability of error around those final steps. But we are working on it, and that is something that will get shared publicly once we kind of have it nailed down a bit. All right, project highlights. I got a few things for today. So first, why don't we start with Shamil? I know you've been working hard on this DSN. The DSN is now extremely central to everything within the Subspace network, syncing and solving the farmer's dilemma. What have you been kind of working on recently? I know it's been a lot of tuning, and I know you've got kind of plans going
Yep,
forward too. So,
exactly. The Gemini 3F works on the updated design of the DSN 3, and it works much better than the previous version. However, we noticed that node syncing works suboptimal, and it works worse than Farmer for the same basically tasks that getting pieces from DSN. And we basically understood that it's connected to parallel processes in the node. So we are now tuning that this number of parallel processes and according to connection numbers of the node. So we will expose in the next several days some command line argument probably that will help to fine tune this parallel acquiring of pieces. So it will help to stabilize the node syncing. This is what we hope. Also, we internally created several benchmarks to observe the health of the JSN as a whole, and it will also help to tune the JSN further. Basically, that's it. We are indeed tuning the JSN right now.
and while I know there's still some problems at times syncing, it is orders of magnitude better than it was even a month ago. So I know that a lot of work has been going into this, and it's certainly noticed. All right, another upcoming feature that will actually be probably the cause of a network reset. Nazar is working hard on kind of finishing up his proof of time. Where are we at on that?
With proof of time as a reminder, it is designed to prevent long range attacks, and it will be a source of time slots where farmers are solving puzzle. Um, we essentially have kind of like optimistic, insecure, inefficient implementation. So this week will be improvements to that, and hopefully deployment to the DevNet. And the next few weeks will hopefully reach the point where we can deploy it to Gemini 3, the next iteration of that. It will be a big milestone, I think, in terms of the security of the network. But otherwise, we are making good progress. And I think we have closed basically all of the like researchy questions, what needs to be done. So it's just implementation ahead.
Great. Finally, with the kind of launch of our first EVM domain and kind of the domain system is coming out of the background and going to be kind of moving to the forefront. Well, along with that is a system of staking within domains. Ved, you want to kind of give an overview of how that's going to work? And
Yeah. So staking. Okay, let's start with operator rewards. When a new domain block gets added to the domain chain, the operators gets some rewards for executing that domain block, and those rewards are sent to consensus chain as part of the bundle itself. So the bundle contains other details of the domain block along with the rewards that they got. The rewards not only just include the execution, but also could be from other protocols within the runtime. Could be something coming from XDM or other details as well. So those rewards all just lands on consensus chain, and once the consensus chain gets that ER and the execution, all the rewards in that ER, we distribute those ERs, the rewards equally to all the operators who submitted that particular execution receipt. And again, they are not included into the stake yet. So they are just distributed to the operators. And once the epoch is complete on the consensus chain for this given domain, an epoch is a set number of blocks. Once we have a set number of blocks, and the epoch increments to the move to the next epoch. So once the current epoch completes, then these rewards are included and will be staked starting from the next epoch. And so all the rewards that you get in a single epoch, all the operators get in a single epoch, gets accumulated and then gets restaked at the end of this epoch. And those will be restaked starting from the next epoch, and yeah, so on and so forth.
so if I'm a farmer and I'm earning farmer rewards and I've kind of aggregated those up, but I don't want to be running an operator, is there going to be an option for me to put my rewards to work?
We do have an option right now that they can auto restake their farmer rewards. So that would also be very similar, where you earn some farming rewards and they are put into a pending transfer. So until an epoch is complete, those transfers are still pending. So that means for this epoch, your farmer rewards are not staked. So they will only be staked once the epoch is complete, and then all of the pending transfers are finalized. So all your farming rewards are restaked into the protocol, and that's when you would actually start ending on top of those farmer rewards.
Okay. So that actual auto staking, that's not implemented yet, right? I think we're still working on some scaling issues with that. But generally speaking, I think as you're earning rewards, I guess the point of the question is anybody with SSC is going to be able to nominate operators and participate in basically in staking without having to run their own operator. So that will be coming as well. All right. That was all we had for the project highlights and announcements. Is there anything anybody else wanted to discuss while we have the team all together right now? Community, any questions for the engineers?
I think 3F network, it's worth highlighting that we already have over 10,000 nodes, and over 1.5 petabytes of pledged space. I think that will increase with the latest snapshot when people actually can farm all of the space they have if they have bigger plots. So that is a good start. After a few days of incentivized testnet, we'll see how it goes.
So I have to ask, you just said they'll be able to farm bigger plots. Was the focus driven by the memes? Were you getting sick of the memes?
Not memes. It was by ambassadors. There were some reports on the forum about issues, and we were trying to understand what is going on. One of ambassadors created an application that is basically an auditing benchmark, and he was making experiments. He has pretty good big SSD, and we were learning like what is going on, why it's not able to make the audit in time. And we found some reasons, and we applied those learnings into the latest snapshot, and we are very thankful for that. And we also have some follow-up improvements to the protocol planned as well.
That's amazing. So, I guess that highlights this is a test net. We're testing. One of the reasons it's public and not just testing in the background internally with us is we don't have all the equipment. We don't have all the different setups. And so it's very important that the community be involved in helping us to find these problems. So that's amazing. Jim, were you gonna?
And the source code is like open, anyone can essentially contribute. So it's really great when people provide actionable feedback, and especially when they like do experiments with the code and can show us this is where the problem is happening.
Yeah, I just wanted to name check Serioga. He's one of our freshly minted lead support ambassadors who's been helping Nazar there. The forum post is a great example of how to help us out efficiently. And Serioga shows like outstanding GitHub etiquette and he's always trying to help. So yeah, he deserves the name check.
Great. All right. I guess I'll finish kind of on that note. We do have some open positions at Subspace. I think, you can go to Lever and you can do the application. That's the process, but nothing just kind of screams, hire me as much as a really solid contribution in our GitHub. So we have good first issues. We have lots of open issues in GitHub. So if you're interested at working at Subspace, it's a great way to get the attention of the team. Let's go open a PR. So, all right. Well, we will see everybody back in a couple of weeks. Thank you.